19th. We are starting at 11:15 a.m. and I want to welcome everybody to being here today. Let's go ahead and do a roll call, if that's okay, Vivian, for our attendance.
That is all right. All right. Commissioner West.
Present.
Commissioner Brown.
Present.
Commissioner Khalil.
Present.
Ms. Byrd.
Present.
Ms. Irvine.
Present.
Dr. Robinson.
Present.
And Mr. Carlton. Wilkinson. Sorry. And Ashley Batchelder.
Present.
Thank you, Vivian.
You're welcome.
Welcome, everybody, and I want to thank Commissioner Khalil for joining our PAC. This is your first meeting with us, and as a commissioner, we were so grateful for you being here, so thank you.
Very excited to be on the committee.
Very happy to have you. And while we are doing introductions and such, I also want to thank Jesse Ross, who has been with us for 2 years, and his last day was last Friday, I believe. He has moved on to another business here in town, and it's a great opportunity, and we will miss him, but I'm really excited for his upcoming work, so we will, I'm sure, see him around. So just wanted to make that. Before we move forward, public comments. Did anyone submit a public comment, Vivian, prior to the meeting?
I do not have any public comments prior to the meeting, and we do not have any public comments in person today.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll move on to item C, approval of minutes. This is from April 17th, 2025. You all have received those, and there's also a copy in your packet. Please let us know as you review these if you see any changes. And otherwise, let's just take a second, and then I've reviewed them. I did not see any changes, but please let us know. And if there are none, we can take a motion to approve.
Motion, how do I say this? To approve the minutes on April 17th. Say it again.
I second.
Thank you, Commissioner Brown, for the motion. Thank you, Carlton, for the second. Minutes are approved. Okay, y'all, moving right along. Action items. The first action item we have will be presented by Attilio, and that is the Nashville Youth Campus. This is not, sorry, y'all. I totally was reading the wrong thing. I told Ann Leslie when I came in, I wore the wrong contacts today. So I'm wearing these glasses, and I need to switch over to our actual agenda. Yay! Okay, D. The Arthur Avenue MOU, Public Art Memorandum of Understanding with the National Department of Transportation. So, Ann Leslie, do you want to speak to the MOU? We have it in our packet. This has gone through our legal department, and this is what we have here. So, you want to speak to that?
Yes, thank you. Yes, this is a memorandum of understanding. It's an agreement between Metro departments, and as we worked with Metro Legal, the representatives from both Metro Arts as well as NDOT, they recommended this document that we would approve here at Public Art Committee, recommend it to the Commission for their approval, and then this will go to the Metro Council, would be the final step. We have had memorandums of understanding in the past for public art projects. The most recent one is the Lending Library. It is not standard for every project, but we might make it standard for every project. This one in particular, it was important to have a memorandum of understanding because it involved an NEA grant. That National Endowment for the Arts grants has changed over time. Originally, Arts was the administrator of the grant. That has since changed to NDOT. And as many of you know, funding for many projects, including this one, was removed. And so we wanted to make all of that clear officially. So this document does that. And then it also allows us to define the responsibilities for this project for both Metro Arts and NDOT, as well as the budgets and the funds being offered by both departments for this, the successful completion of this project. So it outlines all of that.
Thank you, Ann Leslie. If you all look at Section 2, Section 3, Section 4, Section 5, to see if you have any questions about this, and regarding removal of funding, that is the NEA funding. So we all know that's, yeah.
Yeah. So question. So funding got removed, right? 75,000. Am I reading this right?
Correct. However, thank you for mentioning that. Good point. We had done the work, and NDOT had already requested the reimbursement. So we suspect all of that money is actually coming to Metro.
Gotcha.
So that shouldn't be a problem, but we certainly still just wanted to clean that up and have this be part of the record. One other thing I want to add, this is something that, multiple individuals have looked at. We've gone back and forth. We, made some, some of the last changes were made right before we had some people going on, leave, temporary leave, but they will be back. And so what our ask is, if we can advance the slide. Thank you. So what we would recommend is approval of the document, but also with authority to staff and Metro Legal to make necessary final edits before this document goes to the Arts Commission for final approval next week.
So with that, if we could kind of look at this and see if there are any suggested edits, and then the staff, we will get, once we have a recommendation, if there's any necessary final edits, we are going to give that authority to the staff and Metro Legal prior to next week's commission meeting. I personally read through this over several times, and it all makes sense to me with everything that we've gone through to get to this point. So, and like Ann Leslie said, you'll see other MOUs coming through for other projects, and this may become part of our overall, so. Any other questions? If not, I will take a motion for the recommendation. No questions? Okay, I'll call for a motion.
I make a motion that we accept the MOU as it stands for right now, with changes acceptable if needed before the Metro Arts Commission meeting next week.
Thank you, Commissioner Khalil.
A second.
Thank you, Commissioner Brown. The call for a motion to approve of the Arthur Avenue Public Art Memorandum of Understanding with Nashville Department of Transportation with authority to staff and Metro Legal to make necessary final edits before going to the Arts Commission for final approval is approved. Thank you so much. Okay. Moving on, project discussion and updates. Up first is our Nashville Youth Campus for Empowerment Public Art Project, the lobby section, and that is Attilio.
Thank you. Good morning still. Thank you everybody for coming. I have 3 updates for you, but there's a lot going on specifically with this projects, plural. So let me start off with the project 1, which is the wall sculpture for the campus. As you may recall, this is the area, this is the campus, and the wall in question where we're going to put the artwork. More specifically, the artwork is going to go on the wall here on the side. It's about 1,300 cubic square feet. And the commission's for 400,000. Now, the call has been open for about over a month, and now it will be closing next Monday, June 23rd at 11:59 p.m. I want to encourage everybody here, listening at home, to please, still spread the word. There's still time to apply. You have the weekend. If you have questions, please reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help you out. We had a great event. Chuck helped us out last Monday at the farmers market, where we opened some time for artists to come in and speak to us. It was really successful, so we were happy about that. But I am getting a lot of emails, so I'm really encouraged by that. So far, we have about 50 applicants, and the range is from all over the United States. So I'll say that, but yeah, please, this Monday, if you are hesitant, join a team. Talk to a fabricator, call me, maybe I can give you some tips. But the one thing that I really want to encourage you to do is to, even if they feel that they don't know what they're getting into, it's a good opportunity to walk through the steps. So then you understand what maybe other agencies might want, or maybe when we have another opportunity, then they know what to expect and they'll be better prepared, right? So with all that being said, I encourage everybody to apply. The call closes this Monday. Yeah. With that being said, though, another key thing that is out right now is that there is a call for community panelists. I've sent that to all of you. If you haven't, please let me know and I'll resend it again. But this is something that is really, really important. We are closing the call on July 7th. Again on Monday, and that's at 11:59 p.m. We are looking for anyone and everything. Go through the application. You will see that we're asking for skill level. We're asking for different experiences. I do want to emphasize that this facility is not just a detention center, right? This is a multifaceted facility that's going to offer a lot of services for a wide range of individuals. So this applies to all of us in Davidson County. So please apply. If you know anybody that would be a good idea to apply, please go ahead and submit your application. I'm hoping once we get that situated, just to give you a quick, brief timeline, we're looking at starting the selection in July, and then hopefully we'll be ending in October. So hopefully by October I'll come back and we'll have a finalist, but more on that later. There's also one other thing that I wanted to bring up. I want to thank Evan for helping out. We had a really good planning session the other day. This is regarding to the empowerment collection. He gave me some really, really good ideas, especially from a curator's perspective. And so we mapped out the timeline. We're looking at maybe potentially releasing that call in October. All right. But nothing is solidified, so we're still tweaking that. So other artists, once if this opportunity doesn't really fit you regarding to the wall sculpture, there's going to be an opportunity coming for anyone who has mixed media, such as painters, textile artists, ceramics, and so forth. And so more on that, please follow us on Arts Alert and Instagram, and you'll see those announcements. And then there's just one other thing, too, that I wanted to address. So previously, we were pursuing a direct selection, and we decided not to go forward with it. We just found that it's just not the right time for Metro Arts and the artist. We wouldn't be able to support the artists the way we wanted to. And part of it is time, and right now, we are really severely short-staffed. So we wish the artists the best of luck. It has nothing reflecting on their skill or anything like that. They're amazing. But for us, we would not be able to support them the way we needed to. So we want to just say that. But thank you. And then that's all I have. I'll entertain any questions you have regarding any of these projects, because there's a lot going on, and I need all your help. So yeah, throw it at me.
All right. Couple questions for you.
Yeah, you knew it was going to be
Always.
you.
Got a couple.
I'm like Evan, circled it right
come on.
here.
I'm here for you. All right. Number one, you said July. Is that July of 2025 or July?
For the closing of, so when I did reference July,
Yes.
is for the closing of the call for community panelists.
Gotcha.
This July.
This July.
Yes,
Okay.
2025.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Number 2, not the wall sculpture, but the other placement,
Empowerment?
empowerment. Is that local only?
Yes, thank you. Great question. That's something that I should have mentioned. Yes, we are opening it only to regional in the sense that it's going to be Davidson County and the immediate surrounding counties around it. Part of the reason why we included obviously the surrounding counties is because there's a lot of artists that have to leave Nashville due to, housing, everything's expensive, right? So we don't want to cut them out. So yes, thank you for clarifying that. That's something that we're going to make clear, that not only it's Davidson County, but also the surrounding counties, they're going to be available for that opportunity.
Awesome. Definitely wanted to note that one. And how many submissions did you get from local artists for the wall sculpture?
Yes, so not as many as I'd want.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to say that I've literally only received one.
Wow.
And part of it is from feedback that I received from a lot of artists that I've spoken to. There seems to be some hesitancy on wanting to take on that type of challenge, which personally, I'm not speaking for Metro Arts here. This is me personally. I really feel like artists need to take their shot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of skilled artists here that I think that are not sure whether they want to take that chance or not. But one person who I could right now give an example from is Amari Booker.
Yeah.
He's a 2D artist, predominantly murals, right?
Yeah.
And he just took on a 3D sculpture, and he's working with me. It's not going perfect, right? But we're taking those steps so that he can get to that next level. And I can't tell you, I've had maybe about 5 different discussions with different artists, not including him, about that. And so I would encourage, again, if there's any hesitancy, partner with somebody else.
Yep.
Reach out to a fabricator. They would work with you as well too, right? And if you need any, feedback from us on maybe other ways of approaching this, please reach out. So, yes, unfortunately, no. But with that being said, Nashville, I
Yep.
need you all to show up, right? Take the chance.
Yeah.
Because it can be you.
Yeah.
So,
Same. Nashville, if you're listening, please show up, right? We really want you guys to apply for this, right? It's necessary. Tilio's been doing a great job of putting this in place, so I am advocating that Nashville show up as well. So,
thank you. Anybody else?
Just to piggyback on that, yeah, Nashville show up. Like, this is the thing that can lift you to other places within the country, internationally. And even though we are on a tight or a short staff, there's support for you, if for applying within the commission, within the staff. And just speaking personally, I know that a Metro Arts Public Art project for my family lifted us up years and years and years ago for my partner to be able to do all kinds of things. And I just want to make sure that all the artists know that this is, and Tilio is doing an excellent job of reaching out to everyone, and you're a great coach and a great just communicator. And I wanted to thank you so much for your work on this, and just to encourage all of us with our networks to really encourage local people to apply for the national call. And then thank you for opening up the regional call to not just Davidson, because I'm hearing that over and over again. Artists just cannot afford to live in the city center or Davidson, and so a lot of people. And so thank you for making that accessible to counties around us where people are moving. So, anybody else have any questions? Carlton?
I just want to say that, I as a practicing artist, and I do that through primarily photography, and if someone's painting, that's primarily 2D. And as looking at the schematics, really a call that really serves, and then you have just material issues and all that kind of thing, and structural integrity. And I spoke briefly with Atulio about a workshop. I know the time is tight on this particular one, but having a workshop in the future, bringing in people who are interested, and just kind of give them the initial inspiration to try or to work with another person. A lot of artists are singular. They don't do well in working with groups, but I might be one of those. But I I think that, but it sounds like and with the type of budget that it has, that it would be prudent for particularly an artist who's beginning in this type of realm to partner up with somebody who has, if they don't have the expertise of a 3D project, then maybe getting with someone who does. And again, they just need that oomph, that little push. And I think a workshop that's advertised beforehand, and it would apply to whatever we offer out, and whomever and whatever place and city. So, so that's my thoughts on that and encouragement.
Thank you, Carlton. Thank you so much. Sarah Lee?
I think that a workshop sounds really fascinating and would be a wonderful thing for us to work on, not for, maybe for this, but for the future. I wonder, what is the possibility of changing the deadline for the applications? Is that something that's extremely complicated, or is it something we could
Yeah,
do?
not at this time. I have a very, very tight deadline for this in particular. It's this project needs to finish literally in 2 years from right now. Actually beforehand, January, I'm thinking of empowerment. So looking at January 2027, looking at the schedule, thinking about contract negotiations, community engagement, concept design, then going through stamp drawings, right? Following stamp drawings. I can go on in fabrication. There's always these little hiccups. There's always little things. And I'm the type of person that loves to have cushion. And I could tell you that my cushion right now is very, very small. We did consider that, but looking at it, it would put a lot of strain on the artist that would come on. And if anything, I think that would be even more discouraging, because that was one of my biggest questions, right? Going into did we not give enough time? And I did get feedback from very established artists that saying, you know what, for the time and for the money, it's too tight of a turnaround, But I know you can do it. Yes, I know I can do it, but they said, we have other things scheduled too. So it's not conducive to what we want to do. But just on the mere fact that it's a tight turnaround for this project, I would not advise to do it.
Okay. I guess if there is only one applicant for this, would we just go with that applicant? Or is that something we would need to open up for a longer
I don't know if there's
period?
so we have about 50 applicants at this right now.
Oh, for this one?
Yeah, there's only one person from our area.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
I
I
was
would have been panicking, trust me. And
That's why I was getting really nervous.
No.
How's this going to work if
I
it's
will
Monday?
say
Okay,
the
sorry for the
individuals.
misunderstanding.
Yeah, and to summarize a little bit, we're all saying there's a lot of individuals who submitted as teams, which is refreshing. I'll say that, all right, because I read everything. And even with the pool that we have right now, I'm very encouraged, but I want to see more. I'm greedy in that sense. I want to make sure that our panel has a wide range of individuals or teams to look at, because just that one uniqueness, and unique characteristic in that team or in the artist could be the game changer. So that's why I just need people to apply, right? I just need people to try, because you may catch lightning in a bottle. That's happened to me in the past. I'm sure it happens to all of you. So, yeah, go for it, please.
Any other questions?
Just one. In the consideration of this project, and I think I've asked those questions before, but through, I always think of maintenance. How does this thing gonna last 50 years or more, or the life of the building? There is a complete glass wall on the other side, correct? I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really sandwiched in between two.
And strong sunlight will come through those windows? What is it facing?
The east to west.
Okay, so I'll get morning sun.
But we do have those windows, that's protected windows that protect it from UV lighting.
UV lighting. Okay, and even, and that's very, very good.
But still,
But the sun is very strong, and it's stronger than us, so anything we can make. But the thing is that just having the proper materials for this particular project, and again, to last, anything kinetic will be considered or no?
kinetic.
Yeah, moving.
Yeah. Actually, I had an artist who applied who's a kinetic artist. So
With motorized movement?
we did ask in the call not to be dependent on electricity.
Okay. Is there going to be a wind going through this place, or?
No, unless you want to talk about vents, because that actually is a huge consideration, right?
Really?
But we're not there yet in terms of we walk these things through when we're in the concept development, right? But with that being said, and artists that are listening, these are things that you need to consider, and then also tailor your application or submission to, right? Those
Okay.
areas. These are the small little nuanced things that I think sometimes isn't caught by the artist upfront when they submit, and then also sometimes selection panels. And then
So you're not considering solar power?
they could present it. That's up to the guy. I'm not selecting, but I would say if you're an artist and you have an idea for solar power and you want to, mention that you're an expert in that, because we're not taking proposals, right? But let's say I'm an artist and I say, hey, I'm an expert in, solar power. They could put it in their application. They could show their examples of how that worked before, and it would be at the decision of the panel whether they want to take that risk and chance.
Now, this was before LED became very prominent, but just before I sat on the airport board, or the arts board, they had a piece that was chosen on between the parking and.
Right, I
And
remember.
we've spoken about that, but it involved lighting, tube lighting, and they did not consider wind, disruption, and other things, and it pretty much became toast after about 2 years. There was no insurance to fix it, so it had to be dismantled. And I guess that was a case lesson in terms of how, this is interior, so, and now we have LED lighting, which promises a few years of working at low energy. But you said no electricity, so. I
Correct.
guess that-
Yeah, and one of the reasons why not having a nighttime presence, not that it's not important, but this facility will be closing around 5, 6 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Right? So to have something beautiful in and not being, unless you're on the wall, right, on the glass looking in, I mean, that would have been an option, but it's not really conducive to what we were looking for. So and it helps with maintenance. I mean, it just does. You might want to ask the person on the right to you how she feels about maintenance sometimes. But yeah, all great points. And again, these are things, if you're listening, right, consider how you're going to tailor what you submit in your application.
Yeah, and and that may be a little picky, but can standard maintenance maintain the piece through cleaning and what have you?
Right. Well, I mean, to give you a little more insight, I mean, there are parameters that we've already put in place, right, in terms of the contract, right? There's a maintenance manual that we request. There's also, a 2-year warranty period that we get to address if anything happens. I mean, and there's something always happens, right? So unfortunately, and Leslie over there smirking, but yeah, that's something that happens a lot. But at the end of the day, I think even as artists, just speaking as an artist, sometimes that's part of the beauty about art, that you have to push those boundaries. And then you have a group of individuals who are part of that community, right, that we could then hopefully problem solve that. But at the end of the day, right, if you are skilled in one particular area, again, solar, I'm just going to use your example, right, and you've done this before, I mean, put it in your application. Maybe that's the game changer. We're like, well, maybe we need to bring this on, right? So
Will the materials include glass or anything?
they can propose it if that's
Okay.
what they work in.
We have had an earthquake in Nashville, you know that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm from California. That wasn't an earthquake, but sorry.
Yeah, I think I just discovered a great fault line around here somewhere. But anyway, and I may get far out here, but, you know, nothing is going to be perfectly safe. You know, that's an illusion. But there are certain things that certainly are more alarming. I personally don't like getting close to glass sculpture, particularly pieced together. I remember a chair in grad school. I wouldn't go anywhere near that. I just felt like I was going to fall into it. But I think I'm just using these examples to, because there is a certain naivety sometimes with artists in terms of what the safety factor is.
Right.
You know, so that's just, those are my concerns in terms of questions that I might ask if I had the opportunity.
Thank you.
I just got one small question, sorry. Insurance requirements, is that in the,
It's in the contract.
gotcha, so
Yes.
it's not required now for them, for the artist to have?
Well, not
anything?
not to apply or anything like that.
Gotcha.
But once we get to the point of contract, right?
Yep,
You
that'll
know, that's
be-
one thing that
yeah.
procurement definitely asks for.
Okay.
So-
But does it talk about that up front now to like say what will be required at that time?
I think in the call, I don't
In
think
the
it
call,
does it, or
yeah.
does it, I think she's.
I think you gave a list, you know, of all the kinds of things, and I believe insurance was among them that would be required of the artist.
I just know sometimes people get nervous about how much insurance costs, right, to cover, you know, certain $5 million policies,
Right.
whatever, right? So I don't want that to be a drawback, but knowing that artists need to have that as well. So.
Right. Thank
Yeah.
you for bringing that up
Yeah.
because, yeah, small consideration that becomes big later.
What about their workers?
Look, go ahead.
What about their workers?
In the sense of,
Anybody they contract to they subcontract?
so they're going to be responsible for anybody that they contract.
All falls underneath their insurance.
Correct, yeah.
right?
And even to the extent where we ask them to provide, and Leslie, the term for, I forget, the form that we ask for them to sign out that they've got paid. Release of claim. So we want to make sure that not only, you know, there's insurance, but that their subcontractors are being paid as well too. So,
Now, that is out-of-pocket expense before they get any type of payment?
Yeah, great question there.
yes, so, we're not responsible when, let's say you get selected and you have that contract executed. I haven't drawn up the schedule yet, and that schedule's in, the payment schedule's in the contract. But essentially, I want to call it a signing bonus, right? You get a lump sum of something. That, if you don't have anything, gives you the opportunity to then pay for those expenses up front.
Perfect. So there is like payment structure in place that
Yeah,
allows for the
in our
artist to
contract,
get
there has to
paid.
be, yeah.
Yes.
So we meet certain checkpoints, certain criteria as
Yeah.
the evolution
Okay.
goes. But I'll say this, if you're planning to be a professional artist and do this for a living, you have to have insurance. And I'll even throw this, I know you're asking this, a project manager as well too. There's all these little things, right, to consider, so,
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. And I think, again, this is a good opportunity. These are basically not SOPs, but just marks for all public art projects, insurance, all these things. Your subs come under you. But this is a really good time to talk through it because the process, you get your first payment. Out of that, you should insure out of that first payment. So that is what hopefully the staff can help guide through. I think that, yeah, I just wanted to point that out. Thank you. These are all good questions. I have one question, and I think we've talked about this.
Sure.
Can it be a suspended ceiling piece, or is this only a wall piece?
Yeah, they restricted me from that. It has to be on the wall.
Got it.
I at first, when I looked at this and they approached me, I wanted it to be a suspended, and they're all like, nope, because of sprinkler system, right?
On the wall, but protruding from the wall, right?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
On the wall, but coming off
Correct.
of the wall. 3D. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. I knew we had talked about that, but I wanted to be, for anybody watching.
Yes.
Just wanted to be clear about that. And it comes out of the wall, what, 2.5 feet?
It's 2 feet right there.
2
I
feet,
see
yeah.
2 feet right there.
It's these highs of mine. But yeah, I remember going through it all. It was 2 feet. And so, yeah, just wanted to be clear about that.
Right.
All good questions. Great discussion. Anything else while we're on this?
Like the MacArthur project.
Shut them up, no?
Well, it came up in the MacArthur project, approval of colors and that sort of thing. Is there any kind of restriction that's based on
No,
that?
it's not going in a traffic zone or anything like that, right? Bring the whole rainbow. That's all I'm going to say.
You're not restricted to federal blue on this one.
All right, I'm done, thank you.
That's a really good question, because projects that we have current, like Arthur Avenue, for example, with the sidewalls, we needed to choose one of the three or whatever it was, colors that we could use for the federal government, per TDOT. So, excellent question. Thank you so much. Anything else before we move on to classes? And I just realized we were going to move the agenda around, and I'm so sorry. We can move on to number 2, Luby Community Center Mural Project, and I think that would be Masanya, right? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. It's good to see everybody's faces. I feel like we haven't been here for a little minute. So just wanted to give you some good news, some great news about Luby. We have completed the mural. And we are in the process of planning for our official unveiling and public dedication, and that will be mid-July. So I just have a couple of slides. I want to show you all the installation process. We began that in early April. We ended, I believe, in the beginning of May. And so part of that process came with a few challenges, but Art Up Nashville, our fine installers, and our team, they did a wonderful job mitigating those efforts. And with the approval of Parks, of course, we replaced quite a few nails on that aggregate wall. They were, old and they were protruding. And so as part of the preparation, the wall preparation, they replaced a lot of nail heads. They did all the trimmings of the 85 mural edges. And then they did a multi-layer of wall primer. And these are some of the unforeseen things that we experienced with the wall. With that material and the structure of the wall, it literally soaks up every prime, every coating. And so we had to double on the layers of the Nova gels. But again, Art Up did a phenomenal job at executing those and strategizing and putting those in place. And so that took about a week to prep the wall. And then we moved forward with the installation. And from, if I'm correct, they did a right to left. And then after that, Alicia came in and did her finishing touches on the mural cloths. And we can move to the next slide. So there, just got some close-up shots. Well.
Sorry.
I love an impromptu. Okay. You gonna leave it alone? Okay. So there's some close-up shots there, just kind of showing you the completion and just the intricacy of how they piece together each panel. It took 3 installers to do one panel each to just perfectly piece them close together. And I mean, when you go close up, if you look afar, it's very seamless. And if you notice, 8 foot down, they also painted it a beautiful royal purple, which really, really brings in the mural and the vibrancy. And so I'm so happy to see that it really just brought everything together. And we appreciate Parks for giving us those approvals and those green lights. It was unanimous to go ahead and do those changes and those expansions to the mural. And we can move to the next slide. All right, and so here is a trailer here. We hope to release the full, robust, beautiful interview on Monday, next Monday. But here's a trailer, a little preview about the artists and their efforts. So get some sound going. No sound. We got to talk through it. Well. Right. That is pretty wild. Okay, so no sound. So it's just Alicia but doing a voiceover here, and if you notice, we have some of the faces on. I'm literally doing the. Literally narrating this. So there's Alicia when she's talking about her process. She was the lead artist under Creative Girls Rock. And just talking about again, the vibrancy and how she added the color and how she kind of brought a lot of the figures to life with color, because oftentimes and most times they didn't have portraits in color and vibrancy of themselves. They were pretty much all black and white, and so she's in her studio there, and that's part of the content in the interview that you will see, and we promise you we will have full sound for that. But yeah, this is about a 3 minutes 30-second video. So, yeah, we hope to have sound. We'll also put this on our Instagram page as well. But we can finish it out. I'm running out. Y'all got any questions? Any questions?
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Are you gonna get them to cut those trees down that's in between that?
Parks, if you're listening.
Parks, if you're
Parks,
listening.
if you're
cut the trees
listening, as
down.
part of beautification efforts, could you
Yes.
please trim some of the trees?
So you can see it. coming
Where
from-
the
Yes.
neighborhoods can see, and also add some nice little shrubberies and some floral things in front of the community center and the library. That would be very nice to kind of tie in the murals. So, no, that's something that we have addressed, and I'll make sure to address that again.
Yeah.
Ms. Sonia, with that, I know because I live in that area, some of that is protected. Because where my apartments are, where I live, that area,
Yeah.
a lot of that water is still protected because of the type of land that we're
Absolutely,
on. So
yeah.
unfortunately, we could, hopefully, they can get some of those
Just a
brought
little
down.
bit,
Just a
yeah.
little bit.
Just a
And then
little bit.
also too, I have to see where the ownership ends and
Yeah.
starts. Because it may not necessarily be parks.
Gotcha.
It's a lot of moving parts and sectors in Metro, so we would have to confirm that. But I hear you.
We gotta protect the land and.
That's right. It's a balance.
It's a balance.
Duality.
Yeah,
Yes.
there you go.
So the next steps is the mid-July dedication and closeout for the project, and we hope you all will make that out, and we'll be sure to start marketing for the dedication and also extend those invitations next week. So the time starts, it'll be 12:30 to 2:30. 12:30 to 2:30, but it's kind of limited parking, so it'd be best to kind of start arriving around 12:15 to get the best parking and close parking as possible. And the location, of course, will be at the Luby Community Center. We'll begin inside the Luby Theater, and we'll end the dedication and unveiling outdoors.
Thank you so much. This was a participatory budgeting project, so this has been coming all the way through. And personally, the seamlessness of putting this together, like it really looks, I'm looking forward to seeing it in person, but the way that that's come together, and then that purple on the bottom, I know that's something, Carlton, you had really, talked us through a good bit about the difference between the ground to the top. So hopefully that will, work with that. But thank you so much. I'm really excited about this. And thanks to Creative Girls Rock and Alicia Ba.
Yes.
Always.
Yes. Thank you.
I wanted to actually say something quite similar, that I am so excited when I think about how that wall started and how it was like brutalist in a way. So now we just have these beautiful colors and storytelling, and I'm just really excited for the community there and for all of Nashville to get to go and visit this area and see more about the history. And that purple, royal purple wall looks just stunning, because that mural really needed something, a context to shine. So thank you for your hard work.
Thank you, Sarah Lee. Yeah, absolutely. Just can't. I'm so excited. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Sonia. Okay, moving on to Arthur Avenue. I'm sorry we did not move that up to the top, but we have a public art project update for Arthur Avenue and Leslie.
Thank you. So we, at our last meeting, we did talk a little bit about Arthur Avenue. So I won't go into all of the background, but you all know this is something that the community has asked for, something they've been wanting for a long time. And it has been many years in progress for many years. So we are very, very happy that it's finally coming to completion, and we are looking forward to installing soon. So in addition to the MOU, which we will be approving at commission next week and then taking to council, there is another significant development, which will mean we're taking something to council. So part of what has taken this so long and has been, that we are not just working with Metro partners, we're working with state partners. So this bridge, an interstate bridge, is TDOT property. So anything that we do, we need to have approved through TDOT, working through the guidelines that they provide for such projects. So we have gone through that. NDOT has taken the lead on that. Anna Dearman on their staff has been our main liaison to TDOT staff. And as we have shared the artist drawings with them, we recently heard back that those have been approved, and TDOT has developed a license agreement. So that is what we received a while back. If somebody will go on to the next slide. Well, and that's the design. Y'all remember that from last time. So here we are at the approval and next steps. So we have that license agreement for a 10-year lease from the state. That document is working through our Metro, council approval process. Our attorneys are writing the resolution that will accompany it. Those things we expect will be on the council agenda for July 1st. And with the approval that we expect, then all the Metro parties that need to sign will sign this. It will go back to TDOT for their final signature. And with that, we will finally be able to start site work. So this is a very important step, but I wanted to make sure you all knew that. And from there, we'll be able to start on the site work. We talked about the paint, electrical, that will be happening, and that's all before the artist and his installation team will actually be able to come in. Like the Luby project, we had Art Up Nashville. The artist has actually hired them for this project, so they'll be working on that with the artist, and we actually have a meeting this afternoon with Project Return and their props program. So there will, our expectation is there'll be two installers that will be from Project Return who will be working on this project as well. So from there, we'll be doing the sidewalk repairs, installing a plaque, and making plans for a dedication. So you all will be hearing more about this in coming months, but I wanted to let you all know about these significant developments.
Thank you, Ann Leslie. As this has been an ongoing project for many, many years, and this is a really good example of partnerships and changes and having to pivot. And I just want to thank you for all of your hard work with this and open it up for discussion or questions on this item.
Great job. Looks good.
Anybody else? No. Well, thank you again. We look forward to hearing more updates and excited to have Alex come in and install. Okay, moving into new business, old business, Metro Arts hiring update. Ashley, would you like to speak to where we are? And also, I have made a mistake. I've not introduced Capri during this whole meeting. Is this your first PAC meeting? Is this your second PAC meeting? First, okay. So everyone, Capri Harston, our new finance director. So welcome. I know you've been introduced to commission and other meetings, but we're so glad to have you. Ashley, thank you.
So I will start there. I think the last PAC meeting we had, I reported that we were very close to hiring the role that Capri is now in. And so Capri has a lot of expertise that she is already adding to our team to enhance our processes and make sure that the public art team has things that they need for all the important work that they're doing. So as our finance administrator, huge everything that she's providing to us. So we're very happy that you're here. And we're 6 weeks in maybe or so. So that's the first update. Second update is our public information manager position. So this is the role that we reopened earlier in this year. We had 105 applicants and we're down to the final 3. The good news is that they're all amazing. So we have a great person who will be filling this role hopefully by the next meeting. I might be able to introduce them as well. And so making great progress there. And again, that position will support all of the external public facing work that we do with regard to events and communications and making sure that more people see all the opportunities that we have coming up with this work. So good progress there as well. And then we will take up the public art manager role very, very soon. And so I know that will be such a big help to this team. And just like everybody else, we're down to the 3 members of the public art team right now, and just want to again reiterate how amazing they all are in moving these projects forward. And everyone has a lot on their plate, and certainly very much appreciate and see and value all the work that you all are doing and how important it is for the agency. And so that's my hiring update. And Chair, you might share an update beyond then if you want. Yeah.
Yes, and we have an update on our executive director hiring search. First, we are also blessed to have interim executive director Batchelder. Can't thank you enough. Thank you. But next week at our commission meeting, Director Hall will come and present the timeline and all the search information for our ED search. So that will begin, and we have a timeline for that, hoping to close that out somewhere in September, I believe, and then we hopefully will have some hiring updates for you all in the next meeting on where that sits. But it will be coming to commission just for the description next week and for HR to give their information on how this works. And Ashley and I both have met with HR, and we look forward to exploring this next leap for us. So in addition to that, I just wanted to touch on, we have been talking about the 25th anniversary a good bit of the public art ordinance, because these 3 wonderful people have so much on their plates, and we need to get our public art manager in position before we move forward with any of that, including, like, Kara, thank you so much for the offer of the data collection with your students. We don't want to let that drop. And at the same time, we want to make sure the staff is not overburdened with anything currently. And a public art manager should be leading that kind of effort. So just wanted to kind of put that out there for the public and everyone else, that hasn't been forgotten, and that it's also a matter of capacity, just like we've been kind of sharing with you all. So any other thoughts or anything else going on that we need to know about, or anything that you all, Carlton, do you have anything going on that you want to announce, like any updates, or anybody else? Evan, anything that we all want to know about going on in town, or anything else?
Oh, well, I do.
You always have good stuff going on, so.
Well, I am very proud to promote an exhibition at the Customs House in Clarksville. It's a little out of the area, but it's still with us. They're part of our team. And it's called Embracing Blackness and Diasporic Unions. All right, I had to think and get it right in my tongue. And what it's really addressing is, under the umbrella of the description of blackness in terms of humanity, we're addressing culture. And so we're addressing all of the very facets, whether one is Afro-Caribbean or South American or Latino or Asian, Afro-Europe, whatever, that we are addressing the cultures that make up the term because and if you look at the pigment of blackness, is the presence of all color. And so it's up until July 27th. It's a beautiful show, to my surprise, and it's approaching $1 million worth of art in under one space, and including a Will Edmondson statue. It is, we have a July 10th event, which coincides with their art crawl on Thursday evenings from 5 to 8, and we're having performance by a multicultural band led by a local favorite, Giovanni Rodriguez and friends. And we're having an art panel talk first, and then beginning around 5. And it should be a great evening. And again, the show's up till July 27th. If you haven't been to the Customs House, it's a great surprise. I think it's the third largest state museum in the state. And it's huge. I didn't know before I got engaged with this place. So I welcome you all to come and enjoy and learn, because I learned. And I think, and I'm always on this subject, so I think it's a tremendous effort between myself and co-curator Carlotta Contreras Cotebe, who's with ETSU and their gallery system.
Thank you so much. I think it's so important for us to kind of share at the end of these meetings if there's anything going on in the community that you all are involved in, especially when it's public art, especially it's open to the public. And yeah, the Customs House is fantastic.
Yeah, so myself and everybody has some time here. Oh, exit up with Zeitgeist Gallery, so they're gathered together, and so if you have some time, please come check that out. And at the Arcade Arts, or Arts Arcade, whichever way you say that one, the second week of July, going up with a group of curators and gallerists from around town. So please check that out as well. And yeah, that's it for me.
Fantastic. Thank you, everybody else. And for older new business. Okay, y'all. I think that I can take a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn this meeting.
All in favor? Thank you all very much. See you next month.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.